bundles I'll be using today have been sent to me by Klaiyi Hair Company. All the information will be in the description box. I have the lengths 18, 18, 20, 20, and it's in the Brazilian deep wave. A beginner way to pluck your frontal is by laying it on the ground with a white sheet underneath. You're going to wet the hair at the front, and then you're going to part small sections and pluck towards your body in a vertical motion. You want to make sure to not do very much plucking at the hairline, just very minimal if you want baby hairs and just to make it look a little bit more thin. And if you want to go back a few parts, you want to thin out those parts, but not too much, just to make it look like a gradual growth. Try your best not to get carried away. We all get carried away sometimes, but try your best to give a light hand. Naturally, I have a low hairline with the widow's peak, so I get rid of a lot at the front middle to mimic my hairline. Also a reminder guys, plucking the frontal on the floor with the white paper just gives you a better chance of seeing your progress, rather than the wig gives you more stability. I'm giving you two choices as a beginner. However, when you're doing it on the mannequin head, you would do these exact same steps. The final look: gator clips, needle and thread, T-pins, wig cap of choice, tweezers, mannequin head of choice, and spandex if that's your security choice. Here I'm showing you where you would pin down. You don't want to pin down the front of the lace, but rather in the midsection where the darker area is. That's where you want to pin down your lace. If not, you'll get a bumpy frontal. You want to use your T-pins and pin that frontal down. You want to pull it as tight as possible so it's secure. Here I'm just braiding the frontal hair away so it doesn't get caught in the thread while I'm sewing. Get about an arm's length of thread, snip it, put it through the needle hole, and make a knot. When sewing down the frontal, you do not want to sew through the elastic bands. As you can see my needle through the material. Putting the needle through the lace and the cap's lace, you want to push back, wrap the thread around the needle twice, and make a knot and pull through. I think it's easy if you keep watching. When ending or starting, you always want to wrap the thread around the needle at least 4 times to make a huge knot so that it will not budge. I'm just showing you the back of the frontal. Having the back flat is a major key. Now onto the tracks. I double weft them and I do the flip over method for the first 2 bundles. I also use the same sewing technique as I would do on the frontal, but instead of going backwards, I do pull the needle forward, like going towards the frontal. No time at all do you sew through the elastic band on the wig cap. Always sew through the mesh. You pull the needle through, going upwards, you wrap the thread around twice, and you pull. For my flip over method, I split the track, sew the first one down, and then I sew the other one on top of it to get it as flat as possible, and then flip the track over and sew it. Just keep watching, you'll see exactly what I mean. My last bundle gets sewn on using the single wefts, and as I go deeper up I get a smaller U, so I have to sew the bundles on horizontally. Measuring the lengths, cutting, and then sewing. T-pins are very vital because they help to give the track stability and allow you to sew in your desired line. Closing off the wig, you want to sew the last track and the edge of the frontals together to give you a seamless finish. Here I'm just showing you the other plucking method. Cutting off the cap under the frontal is very self-explanatory. You don't want to cut too close to the stitch and you don't want to cut where you've sewn. Cutting off the lace now, you want to have a very steady hand. You want to cut the lace in sections, and when you get closer to the hairline, you want to cut it very jagged edges. Nothing too precise to give it a natural look. I didn't show cutting off the ear flaps because this is my first time and I did not know how to explain it. Ta-da!
Mistakes you done me wrong.